Welcome to episode 98 of...
You're just leaning over like a little
I have to
giraffe.
share my mic.
I know you do.
I always have to lean.
All right, you're burying the lead. Just go ahead.
Welcome to episode 98 of the All the Book Show, the official podcast of the David A. Howe Public Library, where we talk book news, author news, and literary news. I'm Eric Mickles.
And I'm Nick Gunning.
Yeah.
And joining us today, we have a special guest, friend to the David A. Howe Public Library, friend to me, acquaintance of Eric.
Whoa.
We have
That's right.
Took me a second.
we have Sarah Keeler Badger, director of the Genesee Dance Theater. Sarah, welcome.
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
You seem really happy.
Yeah, I'm
so that's
so happy.
good.
I'm
That's
so
good.
pumped.
Sarah's taught some Pilates classes at the library. We've done. Is it 3 years of Nutcracker or 4?
This will be the 4th year.
Coming up on
Yeah.
the 4th. Okay. One failed Twitter class, if you'll recall that. Eric, I
I
think
don't know
that
if
was...
I would say it was failed.
No, that's true.
I mean, I had a good time.
I think that was before you were even on the job, Eric.
Yeah.
Sarah was
That
going
was right before I got there.
Sarah was going to do a Twitter class because people wanted it, and so I did it. Sarah came in, had slides, was ready
I
to
had
go,
a PowerPoint. It
and
was
no one
expertly
came.
crafted.
Oh man, it was
And
like
then
your,
you
it was like your
fired me.
Sweet 16 party all over again. Nobody
I'll
came.
have you know that there were at least 3 people
Oh, that's good. All right.
at my Sweet 16.
Mom, sister. No, I'm just kidding.
Veggie burgers.
Anyway, we have Sarah on today because we're going to talk about a little-known children's book, Harry Potter. Because
Yes.
It's about time it's got its
I
time
think
in
so.
the
Yeah.
limelight.
Nobody ever talks about these books,
Yeah.
so finally we're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
I might be a little quiet during this episode.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your listeners will agree it was time.
Yeah. So Harry Potter is just now celebrating its 20th year since the first book came out. That seems crazy to me. Doesn't that seem...
Yes.
Makes me feel old, like an old
20?
person.
20 years?
I feel like I was an adult when Harry Potter came out, but I guess
I mean,
that
that's,
wasn't
you
quite
know,
true. It was almost true, but
that
not quite
tracks.
true. Anyway, we're going to dig into that later. But right now, we're going to talk about what we've been reading. Eric, hit me.
With what I've been reading?
Yeah.
I read Woman in Cabin 10.
Ooh.
I hated it.
Ah.
You know what happened?
Okay, what?
Very early on, I realized I hated it.
Yeah.
And then I just had to keep reading it.
Yeah.
And that made me hate it even more because
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be here.
I know that feeling. Like you're about 40 pages into a book and you already
Yeah.
have the review written.
Yes.
Like in your head.
It was that.
I mean, I think you guys had your review
That's-
written like
Oh,
about
my
10
word.
weeks ago.
I kind of
So-
liked it. I thought it was okay. Like I gave it
The-
a 3-star. Like nothing special, but I
It's
got through it. It
respectable.
was
All right.
fine.
I was debating whether or not I'd bring this up on the podcast.
Okay.
So
Because
go for it.
I've never told anyone this.
Wow.
Not my wife doesn't
Okay.
even know this.
Still a bedwetter.
One
Wow.
time when I was a kid, I wrote I tried to write a kid's mystery thing because I
Really?
like Boxcar Children and other
Really?
stuff. And the gist was somebody robbed the bank.
Yeah.
And the kids found out it was their school janitor.
Oh, no.
Because at the school dance, they saw in his pocket he was carrying a $100 bill.
Whoa.
And they thought, where did he get that? And that's how they knew he robbed
Wow.
the bank.
You're really
Wow.
a man of the people.
Yes,
And-
seriously.
And I thought,
Yeah.
while reading Woman in Cabin 10,
Yeah.
is this better than what I wrote as a child?
Well-
Because
Okay.
how she figures out there was a murder
Yeah.
is written just as badly as how my 8
it's-
kids, who were based off of all my friends,
Yeah.
it was the treehouse mysteries because they found an abandoned treehouse
Yeah.
in the
There
woods.
aren't there treehouse mysteries?
Those are magic treehouses.
Yeah,
there was
magic
no
Sorry.
magic.
Did
Not
you,
the mystery
Sarah, did you
treehouse.
read this?
No, I
Kevin
haven't.
Tan? Oh, okay.
I mean, the line was the sound of a body.
Yeah.
But then
we did retweet that from the
I
All the
guess
Books Twitter, so it's pretty bad. Yeah.
To me, it's just something that because of that, the rest of it is just seems so ridiculous to me. But she could have fixed it by just having her be looking out a window
Look,
and
I-
see a body. If she had known the body had fallen in the water in any other way, I think you could take it a little bit more seriously.
This is just exactly the same as all the like Hunger Games ripoffs that get pulled up into that, like
I couldn't hear her
after
talk
effect of-
about recognizing somebody from their Wikipedia photo anymore.
I know.
I
it's
was
true.
going
It's
crazy.
true. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't think that if this would have come out like before Girl on the Train and all that anybody would be talking about this book.
Yeah, there's definitely a big rise of those.
Yeah, people
moth
finish Girl on the Train and they're like, I
thrillers
need
and-
something like that. That's why we talked about it. Every book for a year was like in the vein of Girl on the Train,
Gone Girl
or
for
Gone
that.
Girl. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah,
I guess.
I
it
guess
just-
this one feels more like Girl on the Train. So
Maybe.
anyway, sorry.
Girl
I
on a
don't-
boat.
Girl on the Train I got because the character was obsessive.
Yeah.
With the people. Like she
Yeah.
kept watching them imagine but like this was just it was just so random. I don't know. I
Well,
couldn't get into it.
I guess like when we talked about it back when I finished it, but for me it was because it was such a bottle episode, if you will. It was it was
ship in a bottle?
Yeah, it was such a
Nice.
small cast of characters and so self-contained. Whereas something like Girl on the Train or whatever, there's like this big kind of a conspiracy going on and a lot of different players involved. This was just a little harmless, poorly written mystery, and that's why I was okay with it. I was like, whatever, that's fine.
I think it also reaffirmed I don't like mysteries.
Yeah.
Because the whole time, like,
Well,
I'm bored.
yeah.
I just can't get into mysteries
It
because,
wasn't.
like,
It wasn't funny. It wasn't special. It wasn't unique. It was just very run of the mill. And if you don't like the genre, that wasn't going to change your mind.
So
I'm
for
not-
you, it's just the Boxcar Children or nothing.
yeah, I guess that's
That's
true.
respectable.
That's true.
I did like, what's the Agatha Christie book I read?
Orient Express.
Yes, but I didn't like the twist.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know there was a twist. So thanks for.
Well, I didn't like the
I hate
reveal.
when
I'm
people
sorry,
say
not the twist, but
Okay,
the reveal. I didn't like
the
finding
reveal.
it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you finished.
Sorry, everybody.
Finished Woman in Cabin 10, and it's a big thumbs down.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was
Were
pretty
you
rough.
going to read this, Sarah?
I was
this
going to
on
read
your-
it, but now I
Okay.
don't know.
I mean, you'd like 3 hours. You'd
But
be
I like
done.
a mystery.
I think
you know,
I
I
think
like
you'd
it
enjoy it.
on a
It's
Sunday afternoon.
understanding that it's not good. I think going in with the right expectations, you know,
That's
you
what you have
kind of
to
know. Yep. So okay. Anything else?
Good for her.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
author.
good for her.
Good
She's
for
got
her
a new
for
one.
getting
She's got a
published.
new one coming out now.
Oh Lord.
But
Woman in Cabin 11.
But yeah, but it's clever because it's so quick that like people are gonna see on the dust jacket author of Woman in Cabin 10. People who haven't gotten around to reading that are gonna be like, oh, I should get this. So
Yes.
timing wise,
that is clever.
it's pretty good. So any graphics or anything, or that's you don't have to make anything up. That's fine.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. I should have probably had my Goodreads open, but I don't think.
Well, it's only the 98th time we've done this, so why
Why
what-
would you be prepared?
Yeah, seriously. What about you, Sarah?
don't
Read
need
anything
this.
good lately?
Yeah, I'm reading right now
It's gonna be Harry Potter.
Wilder Life, which is a book about
Don't be-
Laura Ingalls Wilder, like this woman who loved her books as a kid and like goes back and explores some of the places where she
Okay.
grew up. So it's pretty good. And then I just finished reading Octavia Butler's Kindred,
Oh,
which was really
yeah.
good. And I want to check out. There's a graphic novel.
I was just
adaptation.
gonna say, yeah, that's
popular.
making a lot of waves right now.
Yeah, and I think I might check that out too.
Cool.
I haven't heard of this.
That's interesting because you're not really a graphic novel
No.
person.
But I can see
this-
how the story would like it almost needs images
Oh, okay.
in some places. Like I think it would work really well. So I liked the story enough that I think I'd check it out.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Whoa! It says it's a science fiction novel, no less.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wasn't sure. But then I listened to a review of it actually on another book podcast.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and they
Read the
raved
room,
about
Sarah.
it. And so it has some time travel elements in it, but it doesn't like try to really explain it. So it's kind
like
of
that.
okay. You know,
Yeah,
like you just
I like that.
have to accept it.
I like that.
So
You
I
know,
liked it a lot.
I accept all time travel.
Good for you.
Wait, didn't you?
nice to be
didn't you
open-minded.
read Time Traveler's Wife as well?
I read about 2 chapters of it and I never finished it.
I like the movie. Okay, I was
don't
never
think-
really compelled to read the book. You know.
Do you ever see him in the movie Hulk?
Yeah, Eric Bana and Hulk. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hey,
really
I'm
good.
wearing a Hulk shirt.
look
What
at
if we
that.
just talked about the history of the Hulk,
That's-
and that this
wait
was
a
just a
minute, wait a
giant
minute.
prank we pulled on
right there.
Sarah, and we're just going to talk about all the comics and shows
You
and
have
movies
the
that the
Hulk
Hulk
on
have
your
been in?
shirt.
The Hulk is on.
Welcome
my
to
shirt
the
as
Hulk
well.
episode!
It's a Hulk. We're gonna Hulk out.
Good thing this is a visual medium.
Yeah.
Everyone can appreciate
That's
your
true.
wardrobe.
People love our visual gags on this show.
Yeah. Hey Nick, look at this.
Classic all the
Eric,
books.
that was so clever. Well, you know what you just said though about how they don't explain it and they just kind of leave that open. I like that kind of storytelling. And my wife and I watched a movie last night called Bokeh. I want to say Bokeh.
Like flowers?
No. But anyway, brand new. It's about this couple, American couple, who is on vacation in Iceland, and they wake up in the morning and there are just no people. Like they're the only ones left, and everything's like unchanged. It's just them, and it was a really fascinating movie. So it's of course like a little indie thing, but check it out. See if you can find it. We don't have it in our system, but somebody
Bokeh
does.
with a K?
Yeah,
E-H?
yeah,
He just said that.
yeah. That's how I spelled it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, as far as reading,
Big
I was
into Doug Dalton, are you?
no.
Oh.
No. I was traveling for a conference, which we'll get into in a little bit, but I had a lot of time to read through some things. So I read a million graphic novels, so I'm going to compartmentalize those for you now. Cyclops Volume 2. Not great. First volume I liked. Eric, Star Trek Planet of the Apes.
Yeah?
Didn't really get into it.
Maybe I will.
But you might like it. It's
Yeah.
just in time for the new Star Trek series and the new Planet of the Apes movie.
That's true.
So,
And
Sarah,
I actually
if you,
liked...
do you prefer Star Trek or Planet of the Apes? If you had to pick a
All
favorite.
of the above.
Wow. Okay.
Equally, which
Yeah.
is to say, none of the above.
None of the above.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got nothing to add then.
Okay.
I was just going to talk about how
Similar.
I liked the Planet of the Apes films more as the series went along.
Okay.
So
Like with Ricardo Montalban and the circus. And
yes, I think
all that.
I think I liked the third one the best.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's where
first,
the
I
apes
love the first
travel
one.
from the future to to the 70s.
to the 70s.
San Diego?
I think
I
so.
think it's like San Diego, San Francisco.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like
think it's
that.
New York City.
No, it's not.
I was playing a ballet class music album,
Nice.
and the Star Trek theme was one of the songs, and I recognized it, which I was
Hey,
like pretty proud of that.
There we go.
'cause, you
Yeah,
know,
that's great.
that's something.
I read I guess the full run of Starfire, DC Comics superhero. It was really good.
Starfire.
I got it on I have a new Nook tablet, and you can read them panel by panel. And so, like, when I was on the train and stuff, I just was, like, flipping through. I really
Man,
liked it.
I wish I could get a Nook tablet for free.
Oh, well, Eric, if you enter into the Adult Summer Reading Program, we'll be doing a drawing at the end of the program, and the winner will get a Nook tablet.
Oh my gosh!
So it's
Can
gonna
I
be
win
great.
that? Being an employee?
You're an employee, so no. No,
Oh,
you
geez.
can't. But
Well-
if you're not an employee, you
I
can-
quit!
You can. Hey!
I quit just for that tablet.
They're not that expensive.
Oh. Can I? Hey, I need my job back.
Oh, it's too late. I filled it.
With what?
Sorry, Eric.
What?
I'll be starting Monday.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna.
Oh, jeez. All right. Should
Okay.
I give you my resume now?
I'm almost done with these graphics. So I read Future Quest and the Flintstones. These new like crazy Hanna-Barbera graphic novels. They were both bananas. The Flintstones was actually a little disturbing. So I don't think I'm ever gonna
I
read
know.
More
that
disturbing
again.
than a
but-
man in his 30s reading.
Have you
something about
seen
the
these though?
Flintstones.
Have you
No.
seen these at all? They're doing like these weird adult takes on what is it now? It's Wacky Racers.
Yeah.
It's
Flintstones.
Well, Future Quest was everything. It was Johnny Quest, and Space
Scooby-Doo in
Ghost,
an apocalypse.
Scooby-Doo in the apocalypse. But it's a really weird.
Ghost
It's a
is
really
back.
weird tone. I was just at a Barnes and Noble with time to kill, and so I picked them up and like read them because we're never gonna buy them for the collection. So that's the only way I would have like read them. But they were weird. They were really, really weird. So if you didn't know these existed, you should probably look into them. I read. Oh, okay. These next two. So I was at the ALA conference in Chicago this past weekend, and a couple of the panels. There were some graphic novel and comic book panels. So I met Shea Fontana, who writes the DC Superhero Girls graphics, which are super popular in our junior
Cool.
section. Yeah, and so I read the newest volume of that, Summer Olympus, and it was fun. It's for
Wait.
kind of the 13-year-old.
That's like Summer Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the mountain
Summer
Olympus.
So this series is obviously meant for like tween girls, but I still kind of liked it. So if you're a tween girl and not really big into superheroes, I think that you would like this because it's more just about pals.
You guys
who
have a
happen
lot
to
of
be
tween
superheroes.
girl listeners.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You looked right at me as you were saying. I think if you're a tween girl and you would,
Not at me.
you'd like
Again,
Not
it's
you.
a visual.
Okay.
movie, so that was a
Yeah.
joke. Finally, I read Gerard Way's Doom Patrol. Who there was a whole panel with all the
Sorry, Sarah.
creative writers from DC's Young Animal. It was a fascinating panel. It was really good to be there. I didn't enjoy the book. It just seemed crazy for crazy's sake. So not that into that. So that's it for graphics. See how quickly I went?
Yeah. Young
So-
Animals makes me want to point out that if today's episode seems weird, it's because not only are we filming at my house,
Yeah.
I guess recording,
Yeah.
we're recording like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we're not even doing a night's episode.
That's true.
But I
Yeah.
remembered Young Animals because I thought, I don't have a single young animal in this house.
Yeah.
They're all pretty old.
They are all
So,
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate you calling them old.
Yeah,
they-
seriously.
Sniffers can't even hear me.
Okay, I read. Oh, here we go. So a few episodes back when we were talking about sexy new books, one of the ones that I was interested in that I
Hey,
did
we
was,
don't say the word sexy in this house.
Oh,
actually,
sorry. I'm
So-
sorry. Flamingo Road, as you recall. Remember when we talked about
Oh
Flamingo
yeah,
Road?
did you not talk about this?
No.
You- Okay.
I started and I was really into it. I really liked it. It starts with it's a female cop in Baltimore. She comes up on this like basically, I don't know, robbery in progress, and she ends up having to kill
Go on.
the perp. And it's really interesting, like and the victim won't testify, won't say anything. So like you don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden it's just like boom, she's taking time off, she's going to visit her niece. And then there's a group of people going around like killing horses to make like horse steaks in crazy restaurants.
Sarah,
I
cover
know,
your ears.
I know. I'm sorry. And so then she was like, I have to stop this. So then like she and her
for
niece
her.
are going to team up and go after this. And then an old friend of hers offers her a job as like a police officer who works at a racetrack. And so she quits her job at the Baltimore PD and like goes to work as like a racetrack undercover cop, which I guess is a thing.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going. Then there's the FBI, and then suddenly we're talking
Hey,
about
man.
human
I'm
trafficking.
losing steam here.
Woo! It just was like, it was a hot mess. It was just
What
from one
if-
thing to the next. It didn't seem to connect.
Would you have enjoyed it more if the person solving the crime of these horse race murders
Yeah.
was a dog?
What if it was Seabiscuit himself?
I like it.
Yeah, probably if it was a dog. But anyway, I can't
A
recommend
retired
that book 'cause it was
greyhound
bad.
and
Oh,
Seabiscuit.
Here's one
Team
that,
up.
Here's one that Sarah will disagree with me on. Are you ready? I finished Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, which you
I loved it.
loved it, and you haven't read it.
I'm about to start it.
You're
I
about
just
to
finished
start
Woman
it.
in Cabin 10.
Okay, I get the appeal for the target audience, but I didn't like it. Didn't do anything for me.
Makes sense to me that you didn't.
But
like it.
you did
Like,
the audiobook. So that might play.
Well, no, I didn't do all the
you didn't do
audiobook. And that it was kind of a weird audiobook though because it was multicast.
I don't
so
think it would work well as an
he would
audio.
do things. It was half and half. Like I
Yeah.
finished it just reading it, but
You
I
gonna watch the
started
movie?
The audio. Yeah, I might just before we do. We're doing this for a YA for Adults book club. Everybody, June 24th at 6:00. You
Yeah.
can, or July. Sorry,
Adults
you can
only.
Come join me and Eric as we talk about this. But anyway, what were you saying?
I loved it. It's been a few years, but I just finished reading his newer book, The Haters. by
Yeah,
Jesse
we
Andrews.
did that on a sexy new book club. Remember that?
We sure did.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but
don't
it
say
was a definite letdown after loving. Like, I felt like Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, for me, I love teen books, YA in general.
Yeah.
But it felt like that was, like, very fresh take on, like, this sick girl genre that became popular after the Fault
I
in Our
agree.
Stars.
I agree with that. I think that it was how they dealt with her illness and
Yeah.
that whole seeing that all the way through. I think was well
How
done.
many other books came out in this sick girl genre?
Well, you know, I mean, it's just.
I mean, a
it's-
lot, actually.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, not just
several.
books, movies, and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, you've seen this a lot of times, and it was a fresh take. So I
While
will
you were
say
sleeping?
that. Yeah.
The Haters just felt like I don't know. It was good and entertaining and funny, but the jokes were just kind of like gross for gross sake and like a lot of manic pixie dream girl stuff.
Yeah.
Like the characters never really, you know.
I didn't like
grow.
the crassness and some of the language
Yeah.
of Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
There's even more of that. in
But
the
it,
movie.
okay,
Yeah.
but it did sort of seem like teen boy talk.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't seem like gratuitous. It seemed like that's probably really the kind of stuff that they're saying.
Yeah.
But I didn't really
didn't
like
need
it.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
what did you like about it so much, though?
It's been a few years, but I think
Okay.
I liked
Sorry.
I liked the tone of it. Like, it did
Okay.
sound like teenagers talking and
Yeah.
not being, like, super philosophical
Yeah.
just for the sake of making some metaphor, the way that a lot of teen books that I love do. And I loved, like, you know, we were saying the way they dealt with her illness and
Yeah.
the Rachel character and how
Yeah.
she was, like, it's just a regular person experiencing this. And
It
their
will.
friendship. And
You know, often when you have a book in with sort of some familiar tropes, authors I think react to that and make it so like we're not going to do that thing you expect, and then
Right.
it becomes annoying that
Yeah.
they're like purposely. I didn't think that was true. Like I thought that the way they went in different directions felt like real and not just for the sake of being different.
Yeah.
So
Did you see the movie?
no, I haven't yet.
I haven't either. I've heard it's good.
Oh, okay. All right.
check
Well,
out.
we'll dig into this more once Eric has read it. And again, we're going
We
to
sure
talk
will,
about this
but not with Sarah.
July 24th.
She's out of here after this.
Are you going to come to the book club?
I'm going to try.
All right.
It's the place to be, I hear.
6:00, July 24th.
Hey, how
Yeah.
are your allergies doing? You want me to shut that door?
No, I'm
between
good.
you and the guinea pig.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm all right so far.
Nick is allergic to guinea pigs.
It's true. It's a really weird
Eric's
fact.
house is crawling with
But
them.
it's been a lifelong.
Yeah.
It's my cross to bear. I'm currently reading Testimony by Scott Turow, which has
We have
been
been
on
in
the.
bookmark forever.
Somebody keeps interrupting me. Otherwise, I just power right through.
Sarah, if you please, we have a show we're trying to do here.
Anyway, I met Scott Turow at the ALA conference.
Cool.
Don't mean to drop names, but it happened.
That's exciting.
And he signed this copy of the book for me, and I've always his big one is Presumed Innocent, which has been, I think, is that the one they made into a movie with Harrison Ford? Does that sound right?
It sounds like a Harrison Ford
I'm
movie.
pretty
know.
sure. I'm pretty
Did
sure.
they did they change the title to Firewall?
No. But so anyway, that's been on my shelf forever, and I picked this one up, and I'm really liking it. It feels has shades of Grisham, but it's a different style. So anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it so far.
I hear you
That's
met
all.
somebody else at the ALA.
Should I just
Another
talk about
big name.
All right, I'm just going to talk about the ALA
Go for
conference
it.
right
We're
now.
moving
Okay.
on to the conference.
ALA segment.
Okay, so last weekend, the Friends of the Library and the Public Library Association sponsored a trip for me to go out to the American Library Association's annual conference because the David A. Howe Public Library was selected to win the Excellence in Rural Library Service Award.
Yay!
Which, yes, so
Wait,
big
way to celebrate with us, Sarah.
thanks and congratulations to the staff and trustees and everything. It was an exciting thing for us to win. No library in New York has ever won it before. It's a national award, so we were selected from libraries
State
again
is
across
ours.
the nation. So it's a big deal. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It was a big deal. So it was pretty exciting to go to that. Valerie Jarrett, who is a senior advisor to Barack Obama, all 8 years he was in office, was the speaker at that. and had a lot of like library experience and background. So her speech was great. They did a really nice presentation about our library and just talked about some of the things we're doing and why we were selected for the award. So it was really good. And then outside of that, it was just 5 days of programs and on all sorts of different aspects of things you can do in libraries, and it covered everything. It covered programming, it covered sort of behind the scenes, it covered legal stuff, government stuff. I mean, it was really kind of an intensive several days. And there was a great expo where I met a lot of the authors. Like Veronica Roth was there, and Raina Telgemeier, and just a lot of things like that just going on. So it was like surviving in a library. Like everybody around me was a librarian, so that was cool. But the keynote speaker of that was Hillary Clinton, which was probably what you were referring to.
No.
Oh no,
okay.
it wasn't. Okay,
I thought it was Renee Telgemeier.
No.
Now you've met her twice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, because she was at that conference that we went to in 2014.
Lib Pop.
Is that what it was called?
Something like that.
Okay. So the keynote speaker was Hillary Clinton, who has a new memoir coming out. But they're also, Simon & Schuster is publishing her book, It Takes a Village, as a full color like picture book illustrated by Caldecott nominee, whose name I can't remember. But that's coming out soon. But anyway, she talked about just the vital roles that libraries play as far as keeping information free and open to everybody and being a source of truth and knowledge and learning. So it was inspiring. It was a good speech. It started at 10 o'clock, and I hopped the shuttle at 7 a.m. and got there about 7:20, and the line to get in was already like around the building, and it was 3 hours before it started. So it was a good thing I went that early, because I ended up getting a good seat. But Sarah Jessica Parker was there too. The ALA is doing a new like nationwide. What? Yeah, did you not know that?
No,
oh, okay.
You didn't tell me Sarah Jessica Parker was there.
I'm sorry. Will you look it up for me while I tell this story? Sarah Jessica Parker picked the first book club book, and I can't remember the title of it. It's a take on The Great Gatsby. But anyway, Sarah Jessica Parker was there because the ALA is doing a new initiative where they have an app and a website built around everybody reading this one book. And so Sarah Jessica Parker's kind of like...
What do you want to know? It's
I
called
know what the book
ALA's
is.
Book Club Central.
But the book that she selected right now.
No One Is Coming to Save Us
That's the one.
by Stephanie Watt.
Yeah, so Stephanie Watts was there, and they had a big discussion up on... It was kind of like sitting in on a little book club right there, because they discussed the book and everything. So that's, I think, going to be a cool thing to do for people to... dig in on. She's stepping on Emma Watson's toes, I think, with her nationwide book club. But anyway, so the conference...
Well, I loved Sarah Jessica Parker in the Harry Potter films.
Did you?
So,
She's so great.
That was great, yeah.
Anyway, the conference was really good. We were presented with a great a plaque to hang on the wall, and like
we were
a glass trophy that says all that. So we're going to be doing a special 80th anniversary event at the library on July 14th at 7 o'clock. We're going to be recreating a night of one-act plays that were first staged in 1937. Sarah's directing one.
I am.
Eric's directing one.
You are?
I'm going to be in one.
Yeah.
This
is
whole...
my announcement.
Yeah.
This is the press conference to announce that I'm...
So I'm excited about it. I think I've walked past those pictures, and that the original playbill is framed in the auditorium. Yeah, so I've walked by them 100 times, and it was July of 1937, so we're doing like exactly 80 years. So I think it's going to be really fun. So that's open to the public. 2 previous directors are going to co-host the night with me. Brian Hildreth and Michelle Lavoie are going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So come join us, 7 o'clock.
Making all your classic jokes from your classic stand-up routines.
Yeah, we're all going to... Yeah. Anyway, so that was the ALA conference, everyone. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
The statue they gave us, it looks like if...
The trophy.
Yeah, the trophy. Okay. That in like 15 years, if an alien race comes to Earth and looks for like their lost forbidden treasure that can save the galaxy, and they come to the library, I won't be surprised.
If that's the one.
Because that's what they'll need.
It's a very standard glass trophy, so I'm surprised you've never seen anything like this before. It's actually, that's true. That's true.
Hey, wait. I used to get lots of participant trophies for Little League Baseball.
Oh, good for you.
2.
Good for you. Hey, on a random note, Eric and I saw Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright film. Have you seen this, Sarah? Have you seen
I
previews for it or anything? No. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
I didn't know what to expect. The first time I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know. And then the second time, I was like, wait, I think I'm in.
We've been learning something about Nick and I going to see the movies together. When Nick picks the film, we tend not to enjoy it.
Okay.
But when someone else picks the movie,
when
it's a pretty good time.
Movie.
Yeah. Sarah, you've never even been to a movie, so you can't.
That is not true.
Yeah, she just saw that.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, hey, let's talk about it then.
I'm not a superhero person, and that's like
we saw Dark Knight together. Dark Knight Rises.
That's true,
as
we
you'll
did.
recall.
Wait,
Yeah.
really? I saw
Yeah.
that with you.
well, I
I saw
saw
it
it with him
twice.
first.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think that's true. Actually, I think I saw it with you first. We've all seen. I'm the link between the three of us and viewing Dark Knight Rises together.
Cool.
So-
I'm glad we had that discovery
Yeah.
together.
Anyway, so you loved Wonder Woman.
I did.
Even though you're not into superheroes.
Something about it, I don't know. I honestly went in not kind of wanting to like it,
Yeah.
just because of
Jeez.
the hype. And I
This is
hate
the
being
kind of
that
person you
person,
are.
but
Yeah, Sarah's a pretty big sexist.
Yeah.
Is that one of my dogs?
yeah, that was the problem I had with it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just thought it was like there was the superhero-y elements,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
good movie.
It was
you
just
know,
like a
outside
well-done
of that.
movie.
Yeah,
Characters
I
were
agree.
fun, and yeah.
So has it? What its numbers are great, right? I mean,
In America, it's now made more than Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad.
what about Man of Steel?
Yeah, well, both of those movies made more than
Oh,
Man
did
of
they?
Steel,
Okay,
yes.
I wasn't sure
so,
how that worked out.
It might hit 700 worldwide, which I think might put it above Suicide Squad.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll be able to beat Batman v Superman. But I mean, it's a pretty big deal that a Wonder Woman movie like beat out a movie that had Batman and Superman
Yeah.
in it. I think
Yeah.
it kind of shows that like, hey, maybe we should have made a Wonder Woman film in the past 50 years.
Yeah.
Maybe people
Yeah.
would have wanted it.
In
Yeah.
a way, though, it's kind of
70
nice
years,
that
maybe?
like it was so good. The
Yeah.
first, the first
Yeah,
movie.
That's true.
exactly.
Because it could have been so
Exactly.
disappointing.
Right. It could have been 1984's Supergirl
Well,
with
when
Helen
I
Slater.
saw when I went to see it,
Yeah.
it was like I want to say it was a Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And behind me and my wife were this elderly couple,
Mm-hmm.
just like by themselves. Like he was wearing a retired Navy hat and everything.
Okay.
Like they had to be in their above their 60s and stuff, And I can't imagine that like they're going to every superhero movie.
Probably not.
And I have to think like they're just going because they know Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It's the first time there's been a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
So they probably watched the Linda Carter show, if anything.
Probably.
So I just thought like that shows that like the general
Oh, yeah.
populace just
Yeah.
wanted a film. And
Yeah. Well,
they'll
Sarah's
come
a good
out.
example. I mean,
Yeah.
she's definitely not the target demographic.
I
that she was
think
in.
we've talked enough about Sarah.
So yeah, you're right.
You haven't even begun.
That's
main
true.
segment
Yeah,
hasn't
we haven't
even
even gotten
started
to her
yet.
specialty yet. Let's talk about
Especially.
book news. What's riding high in the New York Times bestseller list this week?
All right. Now that's young adult. Let's start with the hardcover adult fiction.
Okay.
So let's start at number 10 and work our way up.
Wow.
Yeah. it's
What
new
a
thing I'm
novelty.
trying.
That's great. That's
Number 10 on the hardcover fiction of New York Times bestsellers list is The Force by Don Winslow. This Force is not connected to The Force.
You don't know. Have you read this
Detective
book?
Sergeant and his crew in Manhattan North deal with gangs, drugs, and guns and steal millions of dollars while they're at it.
Hey, you know what? I think maybe that refers to the police force.
I think so, yeah.
do? Okay,
yeah.
good.
It's
Who
the
is this
police
author?
force that flows through all of us, through
Yeah.
all living
Yeah, you
things,
have
and
to tap
binds
into
us,
the-
connects
yeah,
us. Yeah.
Who is the author again?
Don Winslow. Why do I recognize the name Winslow?
Carl Winslow from Family Matters? Maybe.
Thank you.
I don't recognize this author though. Do you?
No,
Is that one that sounds okay?
No.
Well, whatever.
I literally just asked you, why do I know the name Winslow?
That's true. You did.
And it's because of a fictional character from a 90s sitcom.
Did I do that?
No, that wasn't Winslow.
I know that was our.
All right, number 9 comes Sundown by Nora Roberts.
Ooh.
Years after she was kidnapped, a woman returns to her family's Montana ranch
Oh.
to dig up dinosaur bones.
Really?
No, no.
Wow.
But if she was gonna,
Is that by-
Montana's the right place.
That's
yeah.
by Sherry Crichton. Is that
Yeah.
who wrote that?
Speaking of number 8, Dragon Teeth by
Hey!
Michael Crichton.
Really good
What
transition.
an amazing
Yeah.
segue.
Yeah, we share. Well, we have two brains.
Yeah.
They're just
Okay.
in
Where
two
you
separate
going with
It
bodies.
seemed like both of them went on vacation as you started that story.
I don't have to talk about Dragon Teeth anymore.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Kiss Carlo
Okay.
by Adrian. Wait,
I'm just saying I accept the title, not that I want to kiss Carlo.
you don't know yet?
You're right.
You don't know what Carlo's
Yeah,
about.
tell me more.
By Adriana Trigiani.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I know that name.
Yeah.
Extended Italian-American families work, feud, and fall in love in Philadelphia in 1949.
And the title of this was Forget About It.
No, it was Kiss Carlo.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
So,
I forgot about
first comes Kiss Carlo.
it. Okay.
I don't want to know what's
All right.
after that.
Number 6.
Then comes Marriage, Carlo.
That's what I was going to say. Thank
Okay.
you.
It
Yeah.
better. It better.
Number 6. Tom Clancy Point of Contact by Mike Madden.
You read
So
that
it's
so
not-
weird. You read that like Mr. Spell. You were like, Tom Clancy's.
So you just did a Mr. Spell impersonation like Barry Gibbs.
So is this like a Tom Clancy series that he's continuing? Why the Tom Clancy?
Yeah,
Nick?
Tom Clancy in his later years started writing with like Mark Greaney and a few others to continue like Jack Ryan and the Jack Ryan.
This
universe.
is Jack Ryan Jr.
And so Mark Greaney, after Tom Clancy passed away, Mark Greaney wrote a couple, and then he left, and they brought in, who's this?
This is Mike Madden or Maiden.
Mike Madden. They brought in Mike Madden to do it. So it's continuing. I don't think they're still doing standalones that are just in the Tom Clancy vibe. I think they're sticking in established series.
Even those, I don't know what they're called. They've got like the assault rifle on the cover.
Like the video game ones?
No.
Oh.
No. He's
Oh,
not.
I know what you mean. I think those are still Jack Ryan universe, though.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, Dangerous Minds by Janet Ivanovich. There's a movie called Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous. Oh. So this must not be Stephanie Plum then.
This is Emerson Knight, an eccentric millionaire.
Wait, is this
oh,
Night
this
and
is
Moon?
Night and
Night and Moon!
Yes! You're welcome, Sarah.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Night and Moon every week.
No, we don't. But when we do, we do it right.
We actually only talk about it once a month when the Riley Moon is
Yeah.
at its largest and brightest. Lighting up.
That was stupid.
You're stupid. Number 4, Into the Water
Yep.
by Paula Hawkins. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, it's been here 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But number 4 is kind of rough.
Girl on the Train. Did you like Girl on the Train?
I loved Girl on the Train,
Are
and
you
I
gonna-
just picked this up. I'm
Oh,
a few
okay.
like one chapter in or something, and then I was in the middle of something else. So I want to finish that so I
Did
can
it-
like fully commit.
Okay.
Because
Did it catch you from the
Yeah.
new one? Okay.
Yeah,
Isn't your wife
I'm
reading this,
excited to
Sarah?
read it.
She's read it.
Oh. Did
All
she
done.
like
She
it?
loved it. She said,
Oh.
Paula Hawkins does it again.
Wow.
So,
Real
Read the
original.
blurb.
that's the blurb. They've used
Kendra.
Kendra's blurb.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Cool.
It's a good one. I mean,
Yeah, it is good. It's catchy.
sure.
She's done it again.
Yep. Number-
Kendra's done it again.
Yeah, if anything. Number
kidding.
3, The Identicals by Ellen Hilderbrand. Hilderbrand.
Hillebrand.
No, it's it's Hildebrand.
I know.
I
know.
So that's
I've only read her Christmas stuff.
all. I wouldn't have expected like this just beach read to beat Into the Water.
it's July.
Well,
It's
yeah.
Son of a gun.
Yeah,
It is
it's true.
July.
time
true.
for
July
reading
2nd,
yeah.
books on a beach
I guess.
with
Yeah.
umbrellas on the cover.
That's going to be like a 40-something couple in Cape Cod or something. So that's
book?
a lot. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Complications in the lives of identical twins who were raised by their divorced parents, one on Nantucket and one on Martha's Vineyard.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So I guess this is just a retelling of The Parent Trap.
It is. Yeah.
Sans
yeah.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan.
She's
Or
not
Haley
involved.
Mills.
She's trying to be in it,
Yeah.
but she can't. She's working craft services.
Did you say crack services?
All right, Eric, you get the trophy for this week.
Yay!
There you go.
You know what? If an alien race came for this trophy
Yeah.
in like 50 years,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either.
Number 2, The Silent Corner by Dean Koontz.
Oh.
At number 2. When's the last time he's written anything?
Oh, not. I mean, since we've been doing the show, Ashley Bell came out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm just kind of surprised that he's at number 2.
He has really like fanatical
right.
following. I mean, there's people who just swear by Dean Koontz. Read everything he writes. It's a
You
really- it's a
swear
very-
at Dean Koontz.
I do.
You just
yeah,
like his
it's,
books
I've
so much.
never. I guess maybe I just need to read a standalone. But Odd Thomas and Frankenstein. Whew, rough.
Okay.
Rough.
No,
No, let's talk about how much I hate Dean Koontz. Don't play
so
this
this
Today's
is
segment.
this is The Silent Corner by Dean Koontz. It's an
Yep.
FBI agent investigating an alarming surge in suicides, including her husband.
It's a silent corner.
What?
Okay, go on.
Oh, I see. Okay.
that's it.
This is the first in a new series.
Oh.
Maybe this is your chance.
Boy. Yeah.
You could fall in love for the first time with
It
Dean
could-
Koontz.
Yeah, it could be.
Number 1, Camino Island
Oh.
by John
Or
Grisham.
Island.
Johnny
Sure.
Grish. Johnny
if you
Grish.
don't want to read it phonetically.
Yep.
A search for stolen rare manuscripts
Mm-hmm.
leads to a Florida island. So if you're looking for Christopher Tolkien,
Yeah.
that's where he is.
That's the place to go. That's a good reminder, too. This Wednesday, the 5th, we're going to be talking about the Testament in book club. So join us at 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's this Wednesday?
Yeah.
I finished Woman in Cabin 10 to talk about the book club.
That's next time.
Is that next week?
Isn't it? Now you got me all off.
I thought it was this week. I was like, I gotta finish. Actually, I just needed to talk about a book I had finished on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
I've been looking
All right.
real bad,
All right.
folks.
Well, maybe you're right. I don't know. Now I'm all
Yeah.
turned
People
around.
aren't going to know who to believe.
They're not. All right. I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
They
Wait,
might
but that's
read 2
it, though,
books.
right? We got it all.
Yeah, that was the
Oh.
that was the top
No,
10.
that's too much. Okay. Well, as we've hinted, the big talk today is about The Boy Who Lived, a good friend of Sarah's.
Yes, yeah.
So we're gonna chat
low
about.
these
We're gonna
20
chat
years.
about him a little bit.
Podcasta Recordioso.
Eric, just maybe don't talk.
Yeah,
during
you-
this.
I just
No,
get
it was
the
good.
spell.
You're
We can
right.
talk
You're
about-
right. It was
That's not the spell.
It was a Harry
you
Potter.
cast
Yeah.
when you're recording a podcast
No,
at Hogwarts.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Huh. You know what? I think you're right. I think Woman in Cabin 10 is this time. Yeah, July 5th, Woman in Cabin 10.
Boom.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just way ahead.
Good job, man.
Yeah. So
Way to spin that
yeah.
in your favor.
Yeah, sorry.
Sick.
July 5th, we're talking about Women in Cabin 10, and Eric will be there, so you can join us for that. But now is the time for Harry Potter, which turns 20 today.
Now
It's
begins the
always
Harry
time
Potter
for Harry
time.
Potter.
So, Sarah,
Did you say it turns 20 today?
No, it's
no,
last
I mean
week.
this, this time. The podcast is timeless, so really, anytime.
June
This
27?
is us breaking the story.
That's
His
right.
20th birthday.
Yeah. This just in.
5 days ago.
All right, so let's talk about 20 years ago right now. Did you pick this up, like new?
So it just passed its 20th anniversary of the British publication
Ah,
of
okay.
Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
The American version, which was renamed Sorcerer's Stone, as most people who
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
are alive today
Yeah.
know, came out in 98. So
Okay.
I didn't start reading it until a couple months after it came out
Wow.
here. So I'm only 19 years in.
Think of all the time you've wasted.
I know.
That's embarrassing.
It's my biggest regret, if
So
I'm being honest.
did you click like right from the beginning? You were like, "Give me book 2. I need to
Yeah,
have it."
I mean, so
Okay.
when my mom brought it home after hearing about it on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Ah.
which
Wait,
is,
my
that
mom
dates
brought it
it.
home.
yeah,
That dates. I'm gonna shoot you with a koosh ball.
yeah.
Cutie patootie.
I was going to say it.
There's that Tom Cruise. She was a faithful watcher of the Rosie O'Donnell show, and she brought home this book, and I was dead set against reading it. I thought it was going to be stupid because it was this boy.
Looks stupid, too.
It was this fantasy novel, and fantasy wasn't really my genre.
Yeah.
And my mom started reading a chapter out loud to us, my sister and I, every day, and I was like, after the first chapter, I was like sneaking it to read ahead and things like that. So it was pretty
Nice.
much instant once I
Okay.
dove in.
So you're right in there from the beginning. What about you, Eric?
I don't know how my mom found out about it, but like one day we just had the first 3 Harry Potter books
Okay.
in our house, like in a basket of all things. So I don't know if somebody gave us.
Just got a basket.
The
of
basket
Harry
was just
Potter.
in the
The magic.
kitchen, and there were 3 Harry
magic
Potter
of
books,
Harry Potter.
and I didn't know where it came from. And I looked at the cover, and I looked through the book, and like, I don't know, this doesn't seem like my thing. But there was a video game called Hocus Pocus, which, if you look at it, it has nothing to do with Harry Potter other than it's wizards.
Okay.
And I looked at the cover, I'm like, this doesn't not remind me of that game I've been enjoying playing, Hocus Pocus. So I just picked it up and read it. And then I read the second one and the third one.
Wow.
And that must have been it had to be either near the end of 99.
Well, the third one wouldn't have been out at the end of
The
99.
third
would
one
it?
came out in July of 99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
it
And
would
there
have,
was a year between.
I don't
As
know
canon
if it was the
third.
summer or like or what. I don't remember when, but it was close enough that we didn't have to wait too long for the fourth book.
Yeah.
But the fourth book still took long enough that like we were like, where is it?
Yeah.
So it was somewhere between 99 or like winter or January-ish of 2000.
Okay.
So
I was older. I mean, I was when I was working at a public library in
you
Michigan.
have to be, man.
Yeah, and and it was just one of those ones. I always did the book return, and there was always Harry Potter in the book return, and then it would always pop up as a hold.
That's why I read the first Ranger's Apprentice.
Oh, okay.
Same thing, because I was
Yeah.
like, why is this always checking out?
So I just well, first of all, it was. I remember when it first came out, my mom had a big like no witchcraft sort of thing, so it was like no Harry Potter.
So
you know.
you rebelled.
Yeah. But eventually, just like doing the book returns or whatever, I checked the first couple of books out. I think actually I did the audiobooks, which
Audiobooks are great.
read by Jim Dale, who just does an amazing job. So those got me hooked in. I enjoyed the first two. I don't think it was until the third one that I was like, wait a minute, I really like this. And then the fourth one was like, oh my gosh, this is great, So I think it took me just a little bit longer. But I was older. I mean, I was
Yeah.
20s, by that point when I was doing that. So.
Maybe it was the summer that I read them, because I remember reading the first book, and then I wanted to go like back to school shopping, and it wasn't so far away. I've got mixed up memories here, man. I don't
Okay,
know.
that's all right.
Maybe it was in a reread.
It's all right. Well, no, I think just the way it sort of came into your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As, that's interesting to know. I'm gonna say a negative thing, Sarah. So just
It's
prepare
okay.
yourself.
I've prepared
I have
myself.
a positive thing.
I
I'm
was
sitting here with
really-
Eric, so I've prepared myself.
I was really put off by Order of the Phoenix. I didn't like.
Common sentiment.
Yeah, I didn't like
That's the fifth one.
the all caps and the Harry very.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's
emo,
dark and
you know,
sad, and
yeah.
like
I think like
Umbridge is the worst.
yes,
and, yeah.
I think once I got past it and read the next one, then I sort of appreciated it more retro. Like in
Yeah,
hindsight.
that's like it's
Now
a
that
bridge
it's, like,
book
through-
between
Yes,
like the
yeah.
first three are very
is.
childhood
Yeah.
and like there's darkness. I mean,
Yeah.
that first book ends with spoiler.
Yeah.
The villain in the back of a guy's head, which is
Right.
a really dark
Yeah, it
image.
is,
Like
it
that
is.
starts with a double murder. Like
Yeah.
it's a dark book series and to an extent from the beginning, but it has this like wonder and magic and everything turns out okay in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then Goblet of Fire is like the turning point, and Order of the Phoenix is that like descent into this like very
Mm-hmm.
dark. Harry's having all these visions and he's really like he's PTSD and it's
Mm-hmm.
like crazy. And then when 6 and 7 are kind of like two parts of the same book, like
Yeah.
defeating the bad guy and
Yeah.
that like conclusion to the series.
I remember as much as we're having boom mic issues, everyone. It's okay.
I'm gesticulating too much.
Yeah,
in my
as much as
enthusiasm.
I liked 3 and 4, I felt like, and I still like when I think about it. If pressed, I would say that Half-Blood Prince is my favorite. Which I know you can't choose a favorite child.
It's like
But that was, I don't know, something about that one like really really worked for me. That was. And now Eric, you stopped though, right? Wouldn't you stop at like 3?
I stopped at. I've read 4, and that was
Okay.
the last one I had ever read.
Just because, or why did you?
4 came out in 2000, like the summer of 2000,
Okay,
July 8th, 2000.
there it
which
is.
was the same time as the first X-Men movie,
Ah.
which started getting me
Harry couldn't hold you.
reading X-Men comics, and I think if the 5th one had also if the rest had been out, and I would have just read the whole series, but between the 3 years that it took for 4 and 5, you had X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, and I had gotten into the comic books, and I think as a kid, after reading the first book, I instantly wanted to go there. Not even just the shopping. I'm like, I gotta get out of my house.
Yeah.
I got it was like a great escape for me as a kid. I was like, I want to be there. I want to be in the school. I just want to do all that. But then X-Men came along, and it was almost like the same kind of special people with special powers
Right.
go to a
Right.
special
I can see
school,
that.
Oh yeah.
and it was much more constant, and there were more characters. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. So I ended up just getting hard into
I
X-Men,
guess
and
that makes
then
sense.
by
You know,
the
I'm
time
kinda
the fifth,
shocked
I
now.
tried to read the 5th one. I just sat on the porch to read it, and I just was like, I think my time is done. Put it down, and I walked away into the sunset. Never to be seen again.
Wow.
So
Wow. How is it that Patrick Stewart was never in any of those movies? He's like the only British actor never to have been.
Well,
in
I
those
feel like
movies.
there's a story behind that, behind him.
nor
being
is Anne
asked
McKellen.
and-
Anne McKellen was asked to do Dumbledore,
Dumbledore.
after the original Dumbledore passed
Yeah, I
away.
guess I heard that.
But he
Richard
said
Harris,
no
yeah.
because Richard Harris did not like Anne McKellen's acting.
Oh.
He said it was
Well, it's very
cold or
Like
something?
it seems like it'd be
I
hard
think
to
Ian
do this.
McKellen
So
would not have been a great Dumbledore. Like his,
well, he's. I mean, it was hard.
Yeah.
It'd be hard not to just see like Gandalf.
yeah,
like, dressed
exactly. And he has a little
exactly
bit
the
like Dumbledore should have like this warmth and like a twinkle, like
Yeah.
as serious and.
Whoa! If
Austere
you
he is.
if
I
you
mean, not
think
that
that
he-
Gandalf didn't have warmth and
But
twinkle,
you know what I mean,
He
like.
stepped in a trap.
But then it would just be like, oh, here he is doing the same
Yeah.
thing again. But
The-
I hate Michael Gambon as Dumbledore too. So
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
just gonna
I
say, I know I
liked-
wasn't really like ready to dive into the movies, but while we're on this topic, I would just say,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. That the Richard Harris,
Yes.
I thought his like grandiose and everything was really good for the character.
my wife
And-
hates the second guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah,
'Cause he yells a lot.
lacked. Yeah, he lacked the
He lacks
grandiose.
the
He
warmth
didn't
and
seem.
He just seems mean.
Yeah,
He
I
has
think I feel like he had the strength for it, but
Yeah.
he didn't have like the grace.
yeah,
for
but
it.
his strength is loud. It's
Yeah,
not subtle.
He's more aggressive than I ever read
Yeah.
Dumbledore in the book.
so yeah.
Yeah. I remember very clearly. Well, I know I've told this story
That was
before,
it
but I'm
too.
going to tell it again. When Half-Blood Prince came out, it's when I was working in the library, and I read the entire first page.
That's 6,
Yeah, I read the entire first page when we had them all in the back,
right?
before they were allowed, just to be a rebel.
Wow.
J.K. Rowling's
But
people are going to be
I
calling
know
you.
she's going to find me. True story though. When I think it was, I don't know, somewhere in the middle there. My library, which was not a huge library, but a decent size, probably a little bigger than where we are now. But we had 80 copies. They leased 80 copies, and they
Yeah.
were never checked in, never. I mean, it was just a constant, it was a giant cart, call people, they'd be like, I'll be right there. You know, I mean, it was madness. So yeah, it was definitely big business. So
Well, they're still always mostly checked out anyway today.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
they've
true.
endured pretty well in popularity.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah. So you'll never go back and read the.
I don't see why, unless like I have kids and they want me to read to them and they pick Harry Potter. But I can't imagine by the 5th book they're not reading it on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those dummies. No, I don't really. I mean, I'm watching the movies now for the first time,
but
so
it's not the same.
I guess-
man.
I
You gotta go back sometime.
I can't. I guess there's too many years on it. There's too much baggage on my own. I don't love the fandom. So, and that was another thing. I'll back off after I say this, but like in the same time as I was falling out of Harry Potter itself was getting insane because the movie came out, and just like all of that, I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with this. I mean, I'm wearing a Hulk t-shirt now, so
Are. Yeah.
I guess it was just something that like
I was just gonna say it's kind of funny you're so anti that fandom when you
But,
said
like-
the reason you stopped Harry Potter is because you found X-Men and all you wanted was X-Men.
that's true. I don't know what it was. It was just something. It was just too big.
I know what you mean.
For me.
yeah. I feel,
It's
I
the
feel
same.
like
It's the same way that like when everyone loved The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I like made sure everybody knew Batman Begins
Yeah.
was a great movie.
You're right.
It's just
Yeah.
sometimes the things are just too popular, and I
Yeah.
gotta,
Well, it's nice.
let's
To,
step
it's
back.
nice to have like an inside scoop. Like, oh, you guys have to read this. It's so great. Whereas, now it's like everybody
Yeah.
knows what that is.
I mean,
I-
I guess I got into the fandom so early on. Like,
Yeah,
it was
ground floor.
I mean, I was reading the books and huge fan, and then this is like 2000, right after the 4th book, a little before the 4th book came out. I was on Harry Potter message boards at like age of 10 on my mom's computer.
Nice.
And then we had that big 3-year gap. So it's interesting that you kind of fell out of it. And in that 3-year gap, I got like...
What's the 3 years?
Between Order of the Phoenix, or Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix, there's 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm
'cause
also
yeah. So I got even more into it from rereading
Yeah.
and being on message boards and creating theories. And that was where I really started to like...
My wife,
Get
when
involved.
she was in college, she was in London for a semester, and she got them and like read them out loud to her friends, and then they like all got hooked. So she like spread it out. But
see. I think another thing though was that I was 14.
Yeah.
In 2000, and like by the time the 3rd book came out, I would have been 17. So I think I also like aged, which was just a
Yeah.
thing. Like if it had come out when I was another
Yeah.
age, I definitely would have
I ended
Yeah.
up, like the 7th book ended up coming out when I was 17.
was
So like
like-
he was older than me when I started reading it. Like, but just that like perfect amount
Yeah.
of older where it's like, oh, it's this cool
Yeah.
older kid. I
Right.
was like 8
Yeah.
when I started reading it, and Harry's 11 in the first book. And then it was neat because when I graduated high school, the last book came out, and it was like a culmination of a childhood.
Was that 2007?
Yes.
So I was turning 21, so it would have
July
been
21st.
I think I get what you're saying, and I probably wouldn't have gotten into them if I was reading them like in my late teens. But by the time I started them, I was already reading them like as an adult, like purposely reading
Right.
a children's book,
Right.
and so you just kind of do that differently. Like you just
Listen, Grant Morrison's
You
X-Men
judge it-
was just starting in
I
2001.
understand.
So
I understand. In an adult picking
I'm
up
gonna back off.
a junior or a young adult novel, you read it through your own lens, like you're reading it because it's a children's book. You read it knowing that the intended audience is children, and that
Yeah.
just changes your perception.
And I think
whereas
these
you
books
hitting
are-
it late
yeah.
teens, you would still have
See,
that.
my
sort
sister,
of-
she read it the same time as I did.
Yeah.
But she stayed with it because
Yeah.
she's 2 years younger than me, and then my siblings just get younger from that because that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I do think that's just kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting when we talk about it as a children's book series because, of course, it is. The first 2 or 3 books, especially, are written for that middle grade audience. But I think the tone, certainly, of the books and even the writing style ages a little bit as Harry gets older, which
I think
is really
that's
unique.
really clever.
For,
Yeah, it is.
especially in the 90s, they always talk about Harry Potter as being this like turning point for children's literature, not only in sales but also in the way these books were written.
Right.
So before, it was kind of perpetually these 9-year-old kids stayed
Yeah.
9 years old for 20 books, and they
Yeah.
just learned a lesson.
Yeah. Well,
and,
50 years when you
Yeah.
talk about like Hardy Boys.
yeah, or
and
like
stuff.
even
I
the
mean, there's
Boxcar
not-
Children.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the Boxcar Children. But they kind of stay the same. They
Yeah.
age a little in those books, I think, but it's just they learn a lesson, they solve a mystery, then the next book it's kind of like starting over
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yeah, you just hit
These
reset.
books kind of have that mystery component where there's each of the first 4 books is really a whodunit. in that genre with some magic thrown in, but then they get more complicated and the kids age and they have more complicated issues, and so.
Yeah.
I don't know who decided it was a turning point, because obviously they hadn't read Animorphs.
So yes.
All right.
You just wanted to.
I just wanted to say that
Animorphs.
Well, I think Animorphs is up until Harry Potter came out. Animorphs was like the big thing for this middle grade to early teen audience, and so and R.L. Stein. It was like Animorphs and R.L. Stein, and then like this weird.
R.L.
Like, this
Stein had no
British...
teeth compared to the Animorphs, and that's because the Animorphs could turn into tigers.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta stop.
Harry Potter is about a British boarding school, so like it kind of almost doesn't make sense that it was this huge. I mean, publishers thought it wasn't going to sell and it wasn't going to be marketable, which is laughable now.
Which is crazy because like Roald Dahl had been popular like for how many years before Harry Potter, and like the first book doesn't share.
But it had been so many years since those had that kind of vintage charm to them, and it had been so many years since a series.
I'm just saying, it doesn't not. I don't. It shares a lot of Roald Dahlian kind of.
It does have some
stuff.
Sure, but I think the marketplace at the time, like your Animorphs, Goosebumps, that was sort of the name of the game. Like if you're
the long running series,
like
the long running
12,
short chapter books that most kids are reading in an hour.
Those are the only options that I really feel like that you had at that point. Nobody was really pumping a lot of like money or effort into like a junior novel that you take seriously.
Really
exactly.
As a genre.
So you're talking about going from like every 2 months you have an Animorph book for $3.99 versus
every
you have
year or 3 years
a $30 or whatever hardcover book,
500 page.
So it kind of changed. Like it didn't negate the other stuff. It just suddenly there was like a new approach, that I think changed a lot. Then I think up until that point, people just assumed that kids would see a page count like that and be like, which I think it's smart the way she kind of worked into that, because you look, Eric's books are right there. I mean, you look at them as they go and they just like...
not necessarily mine.
Okay, totally necessary. Thank you. Thanks for putting that in. But when you look at them, you can see they sort of...
They get massive. I have to keep them on the bottom shelf.
Yeah, and then the sixth one is a little bit smaller.
I've just got crappy Target bookcases. I can't put those on the top shelf.
You can't put those on the top.
You can carry it around as a weapon, too, some of them.
The seventh book.
Yeah.
I remember when the seventh book came out, because I was just recently, we hadn't been married very long, and like we pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble.
Are you talking about you and me?
No. You could get it the day of, and so it came in like a fancy Harry Potter box, and we just like ripped it open, and we read that one aloud, and I seriously regret that to this day, because we didn't enjoy it as much. I think if we would have just like been absorbed into it on our own, it kind of like we approached it differently.
So,
I regret that.
I guess I lied when I said I never read anything after that, because when book 7 came out, I did read the epilogue. I didn't read the last chapter. I read the last future vision
epilogue,
so that I could then hold it over my sister's head until she finished the book.
You're the worst person I've ever met.
I never spoiled it for any. I wouldn't spoil it. It was just saying I had, and then sharing stupid things like, oh, it turns out Snape was actually Pac-Man all along. And my sister would get so mad at me.
I had a friend
somehow he was really going to be Pac-Man.
I had a friend. I would have these huge midnight release parties where I lived down the street from a Barnes & Noble. And by the time the 7th book came out, the Barnes & Noble staff knew me so well that they just had me organize the whole party for the store.
Wow.
So I did that.
How old were you?
I was 17. But I'd been going to this specific store since I was 10. Yeah, now I realize they were just trying to make me do their work for them.
Go ahead.
But at the time, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I think I put it on my resume.
That is cool.
It was really cool. But I had this friend who would come to the midnight parties with us, and he would always read crazy fast. He was like, I think he was basically skimming, but then he would make these huge, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. Wait till you get to this part. And it drove me crazy.
Oh, yeah. You kill someone
he did it only
like
because
that.
it drove me crazy.
Yeah.
But I still invited him every year. I don't know why.
Should we talk about the epilogue?
Was he good looking?
I can...
You like the epilogue?
Yes.
Okay.
I can defend it.
Okay.
So I see why people dislike it, because it is a marked difference in tone from especially the rest of the 7th book.
Yeah.
But I like it because I think it shows what J.K. Rowling's values are, as a writer and as a person who found her happiness later in life. Hey, I think it's something to be said that Harry doesn't become this flashy guy who's going out solving crimes and chasing down villains. His happiness is just a wife and 2 kids, and they have this somewhat normal family life. And I think that after war, like after you come back from this massive war where he's lost so many people, like the bravest people are the ones who are able to rebuild.
Right.
And I think that there's something to be said for that. Like, I totally get why it's not everyone's cup of tea. I've accepted that now. But at the time when it first came out, I went to, a week after the book came out, I went to this convention in Toronto. Still that too, but I went to this convention in Toronto that was right after the book came out, and it was all these like, it's called Prophecy 2007, and not everybody, there was like two teams, like the people who are hating on the epilogue and those of us who are defending it. And I just remember like getting so like, you don't even understand these books if you don't like it. But now I like understand why people don't like it. I just personally,
That battle was fought on the Quidditch court.
Yeah.
We should mention
the Quidditch court.
I think
I don't
the
know.
Quidditch pitch, Eric. It's the pitch.
Oh, jeez.
But I think you hit it right with tone. That's always been my problem.
Yeah.
Less so the content and more it wraps up like you would expect a children's book to wrap up, and I felt like it kind of evolved past that point. So to jump back to like an earlier tone was jarring, and I just didn't appreciate it.
But it's also an epilogue, so you don't have to,
Yeah.
you know, like you
Yeah,
can
you're
just.
right. You're right.
I like that she like ended it, and then there's this 19 years later. By the way, 19 years later is coming up. September 1st will
Oh
be
my
19
gosh.
years since
Wow.
the Battle of Hogwarts.
Look at that. What are you gonna do?
So yeah, go see
Lie down.
Albus
Yeah.
Severus and
Yeah.
and crew.
Do you
If you like the epilogue,
Can you
you'd
say
love
it?
the last Animorph book.
What's
It's
your
all
favorite,
epilogue.
Eric, of the books that you?
What's my favorite?
Yeah.
I guess it's gonna be 3 out of versus 1 or 3.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be 3. So
Okay, that's solid.
it was
3 is a great novel.
3 was interesting because
The adaptation in the movie for 3 was tragic. Let
Yeah,
me just say.
yeah.
really
The book
Alfonso
is
Cuarón.
the
Yeah.
book is like amazing, and the movie just like hacks it to pieces.
let me tell you, out of all the Harry Potter movies I've seen, not all of them,
Yeah.
the third one's my favorite.
Okay.
It's because it's the most movie-ish.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
It is. It's just as an adaptation, it's bad.
Yeah,
You
it's
lose a lot. I mean, you
Yes.
hardly. I mean, serious. You don't even
You
get
lose
right.
a
You get a
whole
little
chunk of
tiny
the plot that
yeah.
then if you're just a movie person, you miss this whole chunk of plot that later in like the 7th book
Yeah.
doesn't, you have to have had outside information to totally
Right.
understand
Right.
Pettigrew and like
Yeah.
Lupin and the Marauders
Yeah.
backstory.
It gets dense. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets. You got to have a lot in your head.
I don't know what I like. I think I liked the third one because it felt like the darkest and the most mature at an age out of the first 3 books.
Compared to, the first 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I
This was
think
at
it's
the-
a.
And that was so like at that age, I think that resonated with me the most because like I was at that age where I wanted stuff that felt more
You have
mature.
so much cool stuff in that book too.
The third really sort of. I mean, I don't know if you can say a mold was set with 2 books, but I think like if you look at the blocks of 1 and 2, they follow a very similar pattern of 1 and 2. Do you think that's true?
I think so. I mean, there's schoolboy
And then-
whodunit novels.
Yeah. And then 3 still has that it still has a whodunit aspect, but there's so much more going on that it sort of
See, I
You
like
see the
ceases to
start
become
to
an
see the broader
ABC.
wizarding
Yes.
world a little bit. There's
Yeah.
there's this great chapter where Harry has left the Dursleys because of the Dementor. Ooh.
Just
and
a
he's
kid on a
in
dirt bike.
he's in Hogsmeade by
That
himself.
sounded like a Dementor outside
Yeah.
of our window, folks.
He's in Hogsmeade on his own, which is like just so much fun as a kid to like.
Yeah.
Anytime you're reading about a protagonist who's a
Yeah.
kid who's like on their own exploring something, it's fun. But he gets the firebolt, and or he's exploring Diagon Alley on his own. I'm sorry. Then later they go to Hogsmeade for the first time, and you get that whole fun side of things. But it also has one of the most brilliant twists. I think. I know you hate the word twist. Is that a thing?
No, I hate when I haven't read something and people say
okay.
the twist is so
Okay.
great because then
Yeah.
the whole time I'm waiting for the twist.
Well, the twist with Sirius Black
Yeah.
at the end is so like
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best crafted of the books, just
Yeah.
in terms of plotting.
Yeah.
My theory
it's
about I have a theory
so
about
successful in the way that as soon as you know it all makes sense. Like
Yeah.
sometimes a twist comes and you're
You're
like,
like, no.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And there is one in this series that is like that for me.
Is it
And we
Goblet
don't
of
have
Fire?
to get into it. No, it's Albus Dumbledore no, sorry, Aberforth. It's Aberforth in the broken piece of mirror.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't like
didn't
that.
get
I
that.
felt
Okay.
like, why is that important?
And the Eye in the Glass. Yeah.
Yeah, the eye in the glass, like,
And Deathly Hallows.
I guess I really, really was convinced that because Sirius had the other half of that, and his death was so impersonal that I thought somehow it was still him.
But it was a
like-
blue eye.
I know.
Yeah.
I just, up until that point, that was not really a character to care about. And the way the book left you made you think that it was somebody important. And I guess
the
he
whole
was in a way. But...
because of, I mean, it kind of ties into Dumbledore's whole past and Harry kind of...
It does.
And Deathly
I
Hallows
just didn't
realizing
think
that
that was a
Dumbledore
strong-
wasn't perfect. Yeah,
I didn't think it
can
was a
see that.
strong twist, whereas
Yeah.
the earlier one is.
My theory about Prisoner of Azkaban is a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so the first two books J.K. Rowling wrote, the first one she wrote in total anonymity,
Yeah.
obscurity, basically, as was having a lot of personal struggles. And then the second one, she'd started writing before the first was even published. And I think the third one was the first one she'd written after she'd had a comfortable amount of success, but didn't have all the pressure
Right.
of this like hugely explosive popular series.
At what point did the movies come out?
Movies came out in 2001, so between Goblet of Fire and Order of
Okay,
the
so not
Phoenix.
even, yeah, okay.
But I think it was Goblet of Fire that was the first, like, where there were midnight release parties.
Okay.
And it was
Yes,
right between
I
Azkaban and Fire that things really blew up. And the movie rights were purchased. Well, the movie rights were purchased, but the movie was being made. And I think, like, it seemed like she had a hard time dealing with that as a person who didn't want to be a celebrity. Like, just wanted to write some books
Yeah, it
and
must be
pay her
terrible
bills.
now to be J.K. Rowling. Rolling.
Thank you.
Good job.
All this money.
Eric's been practicing.
Do you
All this tweeting. What will I do with my life?
have like do you view the books all equal in your mind? Like it's all
Pretty
just
much. It's all
one-
just like one thing.
Okay.
The ones I find myself rereading the most are probably Deathly Hallows, Philosopher's Stone, and Azkaban. But for a long time, I don't know. I couldn't really pick a favorite. But those are the ones I find myself like just picking up and
Now,
browsing through again.
I know the answer to this for you, but have you read the outlying books like Quidditch and yeah?
Yeah, I've read them all multiple times.
Okay. I read Tales of Beetle Bard, and I like that. I like that pretty well. Have you read any of them, Eric?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
I didn't read Quidditch Through the Ages or Fantastic Beasts. Are they?
So those came out after
charity
Goblet
thing,
of Fire.
right?
Yeah. To like raise in spring of 2001, I think, to raise money for Comic Relief UK. And they were just supposed to be these little companion books. They're fun. If you've read the main series, especially up till then, there's a lot of fun like things. And Fantastic Beasts is supposed to be as though it was like a copy of Harry and Ron's Harry's textbook. So there's like little doodles by Ron in the margins and just like fun stuff like that. And Quidditch Through the Ages is interesting because she really builds up this whole history behind Quidditch and historical documents and stuff. So I think they're fun,
What about
Fantastic Beasts? Or
no the
Beetle the Bard?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Beetle the Bard is a lot of fun. It came out after Deathly
Some of those are
Hallows.
dark.
Some of them are really dark, but
was
they're
like,
fun.
whoa.
Like, it's just kind of part of the whole
Yeah.
world building. Like, you can imagine these actually being little fairy tales that, people would read and be passed down to their kids.
I was in Canada when that came out, and so we bought it. And then I didn't realize, have you seen I guess it's probably just the European version, the blue, and I really like it. I think I like it better than the American
Fantastic
cover.
Beetle the Bard, she originally wrote like several handwritten copies that were given to people as gifts, like people who were influential in her journey as an author and supporting the Harry Potter series from the beginning, that she gave. There were 7 of them that she gave to key people when Deathly Hallows came out. And then she had an extra, the 7th one I think was auctioned off for charity. And it was after it was auctioned off, I want to say Amazon was the winner. And they kind of, I'm probably wrong here and it's going to be embarrassing to me later. But they struck some deal to publish it, to have a certain amount of the proceeds go to a charity. So that was why in 2008 it was published,
What about? Oh no, I can't remember the name. The play. What is it called?
The Cursed Child.
Yes, The Cursed
Harry
Child.
Potter and the Cursed Child.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it has some.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay.
I liked it. I thought it was fun to be back in the. I think it's a play and you have to see it.
Yeah.
I think it was hard reading it. Everything I've heard about the play itself is that it's great.
Yeah.
But you have to remember it wasn't written by J.K. Rowling.
Right.
It was written with her input,
Yeah.
and she had a huge part in the story development, I guess. So I don't know. I kind of feel it's like a separate thing,
Yeah.
and
It's like Harry Potter Apocrypha.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can take it as canon if you want, but you don't have to. And there's some story stuff, I don't want to spoil it for people, but there's some story stuff that's bananas to me. Like, I can't really totally get out. Like, I'm
know what
fine
you're
with
saying.
it. I'm like, it's not part of the series. It's
Are
fine.
you thinking about like Harry's characterization?
No, just
Okay.
the plot twist
Okay.
in it.
All right.
Harry's characterization,
Oh, great.
I'm
Now
fine.
I know there's a twist.
Yeah.
Harry's characterization I'm oddly fine with. Like,
I was
know
okay
a lot
with
of
it
people,
too. I thought
'cause
it made sense.
I mean, the guy has been through a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
human.
Right.
I think sometimes he gets in the fandom like venerated.
Yeah.
Either people hate him or love him
Right.
in the fandom, but like he's got his
Yeah.
good moments and his bad moments.
I think, well, Eric and I talked about this when it came out, but like, I'm used to reading scripts, you know,
Yeah.
so like that format, like I get how to read that. And some people that I've talked to who don't regularly read scripts were just kind of like, didn't get into it, like couldn't really follow it like a story because it's just dialogue, and that's that can be hard to do.
It drove me crazy how the marketing for it, though. They were marketing it as the 8th Harry Potter story.
Yeah, they were.
Which made people think it was, all the news
Yeah.
headlines. Like, it's not an 8th Harry Potter
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, I think it was
but-
definitely worth reading. Like,
Yeah, it's
I'm
fun.
glad to have read it.
I loved
thought it was
grown-up
cool.
Hermione, like seeing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought she was my favorite character.
yeah, yeah. I think it was cool. But let's talk about the movies quickly.
Yeah.
The movies probably inspired a lot of people to go back and read the books. I mean, I think a lot of people probably discovered it first that way. And there's some things I feel like they smooth out a little bit, and some things I think just don't work at all.
Yeah, I think the books are so literary. I mean,
Yeah.
they have that cinematic component of magic and wow, but I don't know. I think they're hard to translate and like maintain the.
A lot of it's
The charm.
like I did not miss the House Elf Rebellion, and
I like that in the books, but you don't need it in the movie.
There's a lot of Hermione's characterization in the books that I feel like I end up liking her more than in the
movie
movies
Hermione
than I do
is
in the
so,
book.
and they give movie Hermione. They give Emma Watson so many of the best lines from Ron's best lines from the books.
Oh, is that true? I guess I didn't-
Yeah,
oh,
and a
okay.
lot of some of Dumbledore's lines get given to Hermione too. Like all of a sudden she's I don't know.
Yeah.
But they destroyed Ron in the movies.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
that's true. You're
And
right.
Ginny, I love Bonnie Wright as an actress, but
Yeah.
I felt like she and Harry never had any chemistry at all.
No, well,
which
they
was
kind of just like she's basically a cameo a couple
in
of times.
Sorcerer's
and-
Stone,
yeah.
she's just
Yeah.
one scene, but then
Right.
without knowing later on, like, oh, this is
Yeah.
Harry's primary love
Right,
interest.
right.
So maybe we should,
Yeah.
But how do you cast a 10-year-old and like,
Yeah.
in that role? I
Yeah.
like the movies for sure. They're just kind of a separate thing in my mind
Yeah.
from the books.
I thought that Order of the Phoenix was actually a really good movie, and I was kind of indifferent to the book. So, did you find the Order of the Phoenix?
I liked the
movies to be
movie.
good?
Fine.
Goblet of Fire.
I thought it was fine. It definitely
It's my
felt
least
like
favorite.
a mix of the first two that's like, here's everything,
Yeah.
and the third one being like, well, this is a movie instead.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe we should try to do both.
And the
So,
fifth, sixth, and
Is that the Dumbledore
seventh,
change? Is that the first time we get new Dumbledore?
No, that's the third one.
yeah.
Oh, is it? He's
yeah.
in. He's
He's
that
only in
early.
the first
Oh,
two. He's
okay.
only in the
All right.
Christopher Columbus ones.
What do I
Yeah.
know?
So when David Heyman directs, or David Yates directs the last 4 movies,
And
there's so
then
many
the rest
Davids
for the
involved
rest of
in the
his life.
production. Yeah, exactly. And once they get consistency with directors, I think the last 4 movies have like a nice consistency in tone and visual style and things like that. So I think the last 4 movies are probably my favorite. I love Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Oh
best.
boy.
Deathly Hallows Part 2, they kind of ruin the whole Harry Voldemort battle at the end, and I'm
I
a
could
little
have-
bitter about it.
If I could have turned into like smoke during part 1 of 7 and then had a giant fan turn on and just blow me away, I would have.
Well, I'm a giant fan.
What weird.
Not like that. I mean like an actual fan.
What weird imagery that was.
I
So you
just
weren't-
wanted to dissolve.
you
I was,
didn't
as
like-
it was going on for like an hour and a half, I was just like, this is so boring. They're just hanging out in this tent. It's just
I think
all
I
this
like it
tent.
because
Did
it's
tents always
literally-
play a big part in these books?
It's like a page-to-page exact
Yeah, that's
adaptation,
true, that's fair.
which is because that's all I want from the movies. Like, I don't need them to be good movies.
I want to know. There's 8 of those
Is
movies.
that what started the trend? Is that the first? Like, let's split the last book.
That is the first one.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks a lot. Now we have Mockingjay Part 1.
Part 7.
Yeah, it must have been
Hated
because it was books they were splitting for a
Yeah.
while. So yeah, because even The Hobbit wasn't out for another
Yeah.
bunch of years.
Yeah.
That movie. I mean, it kind of made sense to split Deathly Hallows because it is kind of 2 distinct parts, but it doesn't need to be like every. If anything, I feel like they should have split. I don't know, Half-Blood Prince or Order of the Phoenix. So,
Yeah.
so-
Half-Blood Prince feels really rushed to me. Like, that movie, they seem to just focus on, like, teen romance. And
Yeah,
tuck,
it's like a rom-com.
It is, yeah. And they pull out a lot of the substance. So, yeah.
So there's 8 of them. They're all like 3 hours long.
2.5.
So and I'm somebody who likes marathoning movies,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like even Harry Potter fans can marathon those films. So I want to know.
They can.
I know they can.
I'll just
but
say that.
I don't know, but is there like this huge like, let's watch all 8 Harry Potter films this weekend? That just
Yeah,
seems
I
like
mean, just a year ago or so, there was this big,
it just seems like
like,
exhausting.
they did these
And,
marathons.
Like, you think they're too long?
Yes, but I wonder if then, because reboots are just part of life cycle now, if them being redone, the films being redone, now that we have the literary adaptations, and if they decide like, all right, we're going to adapt the books, but they're going to be more aligned with like the third movie, where it's like, we're going to cut stuff
imagine
out,
that.
but like,
No.
just so that you could like shrink them down, make them more digestible, like
You're the only
2-hour
person who
ones.
feels
Yeah.
that way.
I don't know, I just feel
You're
like
the only person who's ever seen the third movie and been like, yeah, I want more of that talking head.
talking head.
There's this weird talking,
yeah,
like Jamaican,
I
like
love
borderline
that.
Yeah.
offensive
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, I guess I did like that.
If you're Jamaican,
would love
it's
to
probably
see
not
them.
borderline.
I would love to see them adapted as like a BBC miniseries
That's what
in
yeah,
like
the only
10
way I
years.
think
It's
that
just
would
you know?
longer then.
Right, but
It's
then you
just
could break
more
it up.
hours.
Yeah.
You know, like the way they did with a series of unfortunate events,
Yeah.
they can break it up into like each book is like 2 episodes or
Yeah.
whatever, and then like stretch it out. So then you don't have to watch 2.5 hours at a time. You can watch an hour at a time.
Yeah.
And
then we're
I'm
all
just
happy.
saying, like, because the movies are the way they are now, you could maybe do something different.
You
and
could.
more
I
digestible.
mean, I would be shocked if they
Well,
did
I
that.
doubt they will, because now
Yeah.
they can make the
Maybe in like 40 years.
They're gonna make
Yeah,
4
there's
more.
gonna be some
they're gonna make
under
4 more of
adaptation.
those.
Oh,
Whatever.
Fantastic
Fantastic
Beasts.
Beasts films. Yes,
All right.
That's gonna go on forever.
did you like Fantastic
I love
Beasts?
Fantastic
Oh my
Beasts.
gosh.
I
All
love
right.
it so
That's the
much.
first shocking thing
Yeah.
that I've heard so far.
That's the first shocking
really,
thing?
Yes,
Really?
that really surprises me.
Really? I thought it was such a good movie.
Hated that movie. I'm
Really?
sorry. I did.
Wow.
It was,
I thought it was so fun.
See, I thought like tonally, I was so confused by it because sometimes it felt like such a kids movie, and other times it was like really like dark and
But
weird.
that's like J.K. Rowling.
I guess.
That's what she does.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
I love
No,
Newt.
I didn't like that
I
at
loved having
all.
like a really socially awkward protagonist who loves
I like- I
animals.
like Eddie Redmayne.
Oh yeah, I don't like Eddie Redmayne, so that's it. But I do
Oh,
like
you-
Colin Farrell.
And I love
Okay.
seeing America, like, because the Harry Potter books are so British, and we only see.
Oh, see, but I
You
thought
know.
they really got America like wrong. It didn't feel American to me at all. Did you think they were?
What is-
I
guess
it still had a little bit
The
of like
thing that
a
did-
British
what's the
tone.
name of the
What do they
American
call-
school? is it-
Ilvermorny.
Yeah, that's the least American
Yeah.
name I've ever heard.
Yeah.
somebody?
It wasn't like Smith's.
I followed somebody on. I was
wizarding school.
Somebody on Twitter commented too. Is like, so apparently American Muggles are called non-mages,
Yeah.
which is
No
the most
mages.
no mages, which is the most British thing you could call them.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
No
it
way
is-
would we be like, hey,
it
check
is a
out that
little
no
bit-
mages.
I guess
was a little bit of
I
a
was
British
thinking
person
like this is
doing
so British.
Yes.
And then towards the end of the series, one of the people is like, "Oh, let me put on some tea," and I'm like, "Just make coffee, and then we'll know you're in America."
That's true.
But
I guess I can see that.
do you? So you want 5 more of these?
You
Oh,
want
yeah,
you want
I'm
wizards
on
eating
board.
hamburgers?
Okay. All
I
right.
thought. I mean, I love the characters. I
Okay.
love the whole way it's going to tie into like Dumbledore and Grindelwald. I don't like the casting of Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. Just to be clear about that.
It felt so. I don't know.
Nobody
I felt,
really likes the casting
I
of Johnny
felt
Depp
like I was
anymore.
watching
anything.
like the Page Master or something when I was watching.
Wait, do you want to watch the Page Master?
Let's do it.
Can we do a podcast on
Let's
the
do
Page
it.
Master?
Did you read the script? Because they
Yeah,
put up the
yeah, I
script.
have
and,
that.
Did you
I
like?
mean-
Did you like that?
Yeah,
was
I thought it was
okay.
great. I mean, I
Did you like the Page
didn't
Master?
feel like it was a necessary thing to like publish the
Yeah.
script. Although it was fun to be like, oh, what did they call that thing or
Yeah.
whatever, to go back and
Yeah.
reference it.
I mean, I guess the fact that she actually like wrote it is the reason why they were like,
Yeah.
we have to. We didn't really know what to do with it. Did we end up putting it in the adult section? Do you remember?
What?
Don't you have like a screenplay section? Or
Yeah, but we
But the
couldn't.
kids don't look there.
Yeah, we couldn't
I
decide.
don't know if I was a kid, I would be like, I'm gonna read this.
Yeah, we
script.
did. I think we did end up putting it in the adult. We bought a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
We did.
copies
It's
of.
adult nonfiction.
We bought a couple copies of Cursed Child.
And I ended up We had a
Yeah.
few copies in the kids, and I just ended up moving them to the adults because
Yeah.
kids didn't seem to care. No kid came in to check it
No,
out.
no.
That's more of a.
But
I'm an
the
adult
adult-
who read the books as a kid.
Yes.
It's hard. It
You
was
know.
hard for us to classify it as well, because as a
It's a play.
script, it's
Yeah.
nonfiction, so it wasn't even like
It's so
with
weird
the
that
fiction.
scripts go in
I
it.
know, I know. So it was like an adult new nonfiction. So it was kind of like if you knew where to look for it.
Yeah.
But the one in the adult section went out way more than the copies in the kids section. So.
Yeah, that makes
But we're
sense.
also a weird library with weird kids.
It's true, but we did put.
You hear me, kids?
I don't know,
We did
Fantastic
put the
Beasts are weird.
screenplay of Fantastic Beasts.
I love
in that
the like
section.
the way she ties it into like America's Puritan past and the Salem witch trials and like a second Salem.
This
I don't know,
does
it read-
surprise me. I didn't think that you would like
Really?
this movie. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't as excited about it as I was hoping to be, and then so I went in. I was like, I went to see it by myself, like at midnight. It was like me and a bunch of
You
college
often do that
kids.
with things you're not excited about. Wait,
Well,
and
no,
go to
I mean,
the
I was
midnight.
excited
Okay.
about it, but I was like not following it as closely as I follow most Harry Potter things. And then when I saw it, I was like, yes, I'm back in this world. I love it. It was great. I can't wait for the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I can't even imagine watching movie 2. You didn't see the first one, did you?
First one, what?
Fantastic Beasts.
No.
No. Okay.
I still haven't seen it. Though I was more keen on going to see it than the other movies. Like it came out, and there was a part of me where I gave my wife the choice to go either see that or Moana, and she just couldn't choose, so I chose Moana.
Yeah, good
but like
choice.
I would have been okay either
love
way.
Oh, it was so long too. That was another thing. While we're talking about length,
Really?
I could have done with way shorter for that one. We don't have to talk about this
Yeah.
anymore. We're never going to agree.
You like magical creature-y things, right? Kind of.
I do.
It has a lot of those.
But probably not the way that they're presented in that. It's a little different,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, does
and
it
not so much magic
Eric-
creatures.
Eric, do you
unless count
find-
Pegasi.
Do you find like new like young kids discovering Harry Potter? Like
Yeah, there's
still?
lots of kids are still coming in. Their parents like they just started reading Harry Potter, and yeah, to this
Yeah,
day.
It's
well,
really
he-
fun to hear little like younger kids like reading it for the first
Yeah.
time. You know.
My nieces, since
Yeah.
she's like way into it. But Eric put up a Harry Potter poster in the kids' room,
job.
and I was like,
It's
"That's
just
so
a,
stupid.
It's just
Why
a
are you putting
Hogwarts
that up?"
poster. Yeah. It just says an H with the shields and then
Yeah.
like the symbols.
I made fun of him
The
for
crest,
this because
the
I was
crest.
like, "That's so."
It was
dumb.
the
That's
first
so
thing you
out of
saw
date."
when you walked over to the desk.
Yeah, but I'm very wrong, as it turns out.
Every time a kid sees it, like Hogwarts, where'd you get that
Yeah.
poster? I'm like Kmart, $7.50.
well, that's why you're the
I still
youth
have a
services
bunch
guy.
of the when they used to have those old WB stores
Yeah.
at the mall.
Yeah.
They had it before the movies came out.
I have a WB poster.
They had a
It's
bunch
pretty-
of
it's nice.
merchandise
It's good.
that you could only get it at the WB store,
Yeah.
and I had like everything, and I still have a lot of them. You can't find them anymore.
That's
so.
cool. I found an old school Disney store when I was in Chicago.
Nice.
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yes, but the kids are still checking out that stuff, and you know what? All the stuff that came after it to try to capitalize on
Yeah.
that, like the Spiderwick Chronicles
Yeah.
and stuff, nothing. That is
Really?
all just nobody wants them for anything.
I
Even the kids,
read the Spiderwick Chronicles for that very reason.
even the kids that are reading Harry Potter first now,
Yeah.
don't want to read that stuff.
Spiderwick. Did you read Spiderwick?
I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You wouldn't like them, I don't think. I mean,
I-
they're
yeah.
it's
wasn't
basically
into any of
one
that.
book. I mean, they're
Yeah.
like 90 pages each. You could just read them as one book.
And so, like Harry Potter.
Do you think Ranger's Apprentice's response to Harry Potter, or does that predate it? Those are old.
not
Never heard
that
of that.
old?
I
Not
feel
as-
like Percy Jackson is definitely a.
not yeah. The
Let's try to
Percy
be
Jackson's
Harry
probably was, but that. What'd I say?
You
What'd I
said
say?
you were like Percy.
Okay.
Is that
Well,
thing
the
you do?
Percy Jackson
Hey!
books, they're popular
Percy.
on their own.
Yeah.
I don't
They're good.
find a lot of connection between like, oh, I just finished Harry Potter.
No,
What's like
not
it?
now,
I don't
but
need-
I think
yeah.
I think it definitely was
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
ooh, at the time.
Especially
But
the first book is very
I
much
think
like.
it.
Yeah, in the movie.
I think
Yeah.
he learned to
that's
like
funny.
stand on his own.
Rick
with the-
Riordan, he's
yeah.
doing all right.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I think he can walk now.
I saw him in Chicago. I forgot to tell you
Oh.
that.
jeez, you just saw her. But I feel like if a kid reads Ranger's Apprentice,
Yeah.
the stuff that's coming out now is easier to suggest than
Mm-hmm.
if somebody just read Harry Potter and like, what would you recommend? It's
Mm.
harder to go from Harry Potter to what else is popular now.
Yeah.
Than something
I could
like
see that. I mean, it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Because just it's the whole package. I mean, as
Yeah.
far as like
It's
the
almost
world.
like you kind of are almost like I don't know, Vampire Academy at that
Yeah.
point, because what else
Right.
is like a school with those?
I remember people were calling Twilight like a new
Yeah.
because it had that same early fervor,
Yeah.
and then it just
Yeah.
as soon as
Yeah.
that third or fourth book,
Yeah.
however many there are,
Yeah.
I read it and I was like, this is
There are 4.
I don't care about this at all.
Right.
Why is
Right.
everybody telling me I need to read this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a bad message in those books too. It's like Go for the abusive relationship,
Yeah.
not the one that makes you feel good and happy.
You can't be happy on your own.
You have to be suffering
Yeah.
to be in a happy. Have you found like? What would you recommend to Harry Potter fans who want to read something else? Do you have anything?
I think it depends on what you like about Harry Potter. Because the thing about Harry Potter is it's not just one genre. It's like this nice happy marriage of many genres.
All right, throw something out.
If you like the action and the, like, you know, just the page turniness of it, I think The Hunger Games, but everybody's read The Hunger Games at this point. If you like the, like, kind of, I'm at school solving mysteries, then going back to the, like, Encyclopedia Brown and those types of things are always fun. But I love E. Nesbit's books. She's early 20th century British children's author. Kind of, like, not read that much anymore, but it has that same element of, like, I'm a kid in the regular world who happens to find this fantasy world.
Okay.
So, like, they're very grounded in reality, which is what I like about, it might sound weird to say that about Harry Potter, but, like, it's like as though there's this magical world just out of sight. And her books are both very British in the same way that Harry Potter is, but also, like, if you're a person...
Oh, is that British? I don't...
If you're a person who can't deal with the, like, Lord of the Rings style fantasy, that, like, very high fantasy...
It is high fantasy.
I can't
Yeah.
That's the correct name.
Yeah,
can't do
thanks.
it.
I know
Harry
my
Potter
lingo.
is urban fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love Gregor and the... Gregor the Overlander,
Yeah,
Suzanne
Collins'
Collins' first
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
It's more for younger kids than
I was
Harry
going to
Potter.
say, I tried to read that,
but
and
I
it was
like
so...
it.
It
Yeah.
felt so young that I
It
couldn't...
did, yeah. But I like it a lot.
I feel like it wouldn't be such a jump to go from Harry Potter to Ranger's Apprentice or The Last Apprentice, because they're still... They start older than Harry Potter did his first book, and then it's still that kind of like Ranger's Apprentice. He's a kid. He's being trained by this one guy, but everybody is trained by a ranger if they want to be in there. So there's other kids that he interacts with and, you know, has to get along with, and he's a little bit more special because he works a little harder. So it's not a huge jump. I just don't think there's anything like, there's no like school. I guess, I mean, I would almost even say, like, did you like the whole, like, special people going to a special school kind of thing? Read the X-Men.
Yeah. I mean,
it's true. Yeah.
Is
it
what
does
I
make
suggest.
sense.
Yeah.
If you're for teens, like older teens and young adults, the Magician series by Lev Grossman is really good. There's a TV series now.
Yeah.
That's a pretty adult
he
one, though.
wrote that specifically as kind of like a... He
Adult.
used to cover Harry Potter a lot as a journalist, and he kind of wrote that as like, oh, I'm going to do this like more adult spin on it.
Okay.
But it's not, it doesn't feel, it's pretty different, but it still has that same like, you know, there's a magic school, that type of thing. And then the Mysterious Benedict Society is a good one for middle grades.
Okay.
Yeah. And I bet the library probably has those.
Well, guys, we did it. No fights.
Sure did, yeah.
No fights.
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree that the Harry Potter books have had like a tremendous impact on encouraging kids to read and really changing. I feel like it changed like the publishing landscape.
Yeah.
It made people take seriously like literature for
It did.
children.
I think
know,
if you don't have
it-
Harry Potter, you don't have Twilight as YA.
Yeah.
I think you have Twilight in the romance section.
like Harlequin, like paperback romance.
But
Yeah.
I think we'd be shelving, like, if Twilight was still published,
Yeah.
I think it would still be published, like, where we put the J.R. Ward
Yeah.
books and those kind of things. And I don't think you have the YA, I don't, you know, the Hunger Games probably would be in the adult section as well at this point.
Kind of
you know?
created this whole idea of like a book fandom too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say created because you have the Lord of the Rings and you have Chronicles of Narnia and a lot of popular series, Animorphs and things like that. But just the scale, because Harry Potter came of age the same time the internet came of age. So you had like people all across the world being able to connect with each other about a book for the first time, which I think is something. There's something to that too.
And it did. I mean, it retroactively turned a lot of books into young adult books.
That's true.
Ender's Game was not a young adult book until Harry Potter.
Starship
Potter.
Troopers,
Yeah, that makes sense.
maybe too, or no?
No, not
Is
Starship
that
Troopers.
not
No.
YA?
No. No.
They're
I
adults.
guess I think of it as like, oh, the movie. I feel like they're like teens, right? No.
No,
Okay.
they're high schoolers. They just graduate. But this is back
Sorry,
when
I got-
We almost made it through, Sarah.
this is back when like you could. This is back like when high schooler rated R.
You don't mess with Robert Heinlein on this podcast. It's
So he did
It's
write
crucial.
a few YA books though back before. I guess they would be juvenile. I don't know
okay.
what we would categorize
All right.
them as now.
Yeah, well, I think the popularity of the YA genre, I think, you know,
Middle
a
grades
lot of
too,
that
yeah.
a lot of that you can take back to Harry Potter.
Yep.
So
Yes.
well, thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Eric, thanks for not causing any fights.
I didn't want to cause any fights.
I know.
I maybe
We're
did
still
talk more about
acquaintances.
other
I'm
books.
thankful
Than, yeah.
that you.
So.
that
When
you
are we
did.
gonna do Animorph Spotlight?
Anytime you want, man. I told you.
My birthday is coming up.
That's true.
So-
we should.
We need to find.
Are you going to be both
and-
the host and the special guest?
That might be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else who would want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
My brother will do it. I'll call Steve and say, I need you to read 40 Animorph
He's
books.
going to start upping his rate.
I
pretty
have
soon.
them all. There's
He would do
52
it.
of them.
52.
Well, that's not counting the Megamorphs or
Yeah.
the
One for every week of
or
the
the
year.
Chronicle books.
All right. Well,
It would be.
that's
New
a
calendar.
podcast right
Yeah.
there.
Oh my gosh,
That's
a
a
year
spin-off
of
of this
Morphs.
podcast.
Yeah.
You and Steve can have your own podcast.
All right.
Spin it off.
Yeah.
Let's talk library news for a minute. Well, Sarah, do you have anything on the horizon for Genesee Dance Theater that people should know about?
We have classes starting up again in the fall.
Cool.
In Perry, New York. And then we'll be working on our Nutcracker production again starting in the fall and coming in December. Then next spring, we just announced we're going to be doing an adaptation of Peter and the Wolf as a ballet.
Exciting.
So that's exciting
Okay,
too.
cool. Well, we're in the swing of our summer reading program. Just finished the first week. I haven't drawn the prize for the first week yet, so I can't tell you what that is, but we'll be doing that shortly. And then maybe you won, so come and check the library. This week we have a craft class. On Thursday, we're going to be making mini chalkboards, which is fun. The book club is The Woman in Cabin 10. That's on July 5th. The problem was the Testament is contemporary classics. It's not page turners.
Okay.
That's why I'm confused. It is
Right.
the July book, but for contemporary classics. So if you want to read the Testament with me,
I don't
That's
think I'm
mid-July.
going to. Maybe I'll tear it apart. It depends on how much the other people in the book club like it.
oh, they'll hate it.
Do you think so?
I do.
Okay.
I absolutely think they'll hate it.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll debrief on that coming up. But Eric, what do you have as far as coming up?
Coming out
kids?
this week?
Yeah.
We got Minecraft Monday, 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday we opened up our teen loft area, which
Exciting.
will have a new couch soon because
Okay.
somebody's donating that.
Yeah.
So we have people who come play their Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but we also have board games, and our computers and iPads are open to be
Cool.
used, and all the couches you can just hang out there. Wednesdays our teen anime club, 5:30 to 7:30. Thursday we're going to be playing around with what are they called? Snap circuits.
Oh.
They're kind of like high stake electronic Legos.
Ooh, wow.
So
You sold
High
me.
stake.
Yeah.
And then Friday we're showing the modern classic Beauty and the Beast,
Starring
from
Harry Potter's
2017.
Emma Watson.
Yes,
Yeah, connect
she
it back.
she really broke stereotypes by playing a young girl who's very into books.
Yeah.
So
That's true. But
Living in a
different-
castle.
Different.
yeah,
I should mention
with
also,
talking inanimate objects.
since we talked about Harry Potter, the 10th anniversary of the publication of the last book is coming out. So to celebrate and kind of raise funds for our local library in Perry, we're
Okay.
doing a Harry
All
Potter.
right,
Okay.
okay, give me the
Mile-
mic.
Cut. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm doing a Harry Potter themed Pilates and yoga class called Expecto Pilates.
How is that better than my
July.
pretty
podcast
good.
Recordio or
That's
whatever?
a
good,
pun
yeah.
on anyway.
That's July. You
That's
said
July
at the Perry
20th.
Library? Okay.
And we're
Yep.
coordinating with a couple other local businesses to have a little party afterwards. so
Burlingham Books.
Hopefully.
Our
yeah,
friends at
yeah.
Burlingham Books.
They're right across the street. They'll have copies for sale.
Yeah.
They have actually a lot of nice
They've been
used
great for all of
copies
our author
the books
visits.
right
They've
now,
been really
yeah.
great to work with. So cool. Anything else, Eric? Do you want to talk about Animorphs just a little bit more?
No, it's okay.
Before we close the show.
No, I
Okay.
just they
All
were
right.
there.
All right. Yeah.
I was
understand.
there.
Yeah,
They're
you
always
made it.
there.
You made it.
I was
Okay.
there for
Well,
you.
That's
thanks.
true.
Thanks again to our
Great.
special guest, Sarah. And our special Eric. If I thank the guest and not Eric, he gets very
What are you going
upset.
to-
I just want to thank my special co-host, Eric
Great.
Nichols,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks,
Join us next week where we're going to talk about something.
Episode 99.
Woo!
That'd be crazy. I guess
know.
we did talk about the year 1999.
Yeah, we could do that.
Y2K.
We could
How it
party like
affected
it's
books.
1999.
So
Yep. All right, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
See you then.